I, like many people, am a big fan of sushi, huge sushi fan, been eating it for a long time. Tamara also. Relatively healthy meal, unless you do the crazy things with like the
fried
the
stuff,
crunchy and the fried and
sauces.
the sauces. But if you're enjoying raw fish and white rice and perhaps some vegetables, you're having a good time. Unfortunately, hate to break it to you, parasites could be lurking in your sushi, according to doctors. There is an illness caused by eating parasite-contaminated fish or seafood, which I'm now going to butcher the name of, Anisakiasis.
Better than I could do.
It's on the rise in Western countries in the United States, where eating sushi or other raw or undercooked fish and seafood has gained popularity. This is coming out of a new report published in BMJ Case Reports. The authors draw a portrait of the illness from the experience of a previously healthy 32-year-old man who developed severe upper gut pain, vomiting, and fever lasting a week before he entered the hospital. Okay? Fishing out a parasite. Okay, here's the story. This guy, we went to the ER, they did an examination of his abdomen where the lab results showed an increase in white blood cells, a typical sign of infection. And believe it or not, he had recently eaten sushi. Based on this dietary information, the doctors performed an upper gastrointestinal endoscopy. Now, you may be familiar with what that is, right, Tamara?
Yeah, totally.
And they scope you down the throat. A non-surgical examination where they use a flexible tube with a light and camera on the end. This revealed a swollen intestinal membrane with a firmly attached parasite, its end penetrating the stomach. The doctors removed the larval worm with a special net. The Roth net is a small plastic net used to remove polyps from the colon as well as other foreign bodies in your intestinal digestive tract. Okay, so that is what happened. This guy ate sushi and developed a debilitating parasite just a week later. Tamara, what do you think?
I know
do you trust your sushi chef?
I know this is really wrong, but thinking about sushi made me really want a poke bowl, and I think that's what I'm gonna have after we get done taping this, which is probably a horrible idea. But you always are going to take a risk when you are consuming raw meat of any kind. You're always taking a risk with tartare, poke, sushi, anything. You're taking a big risk, and I think if you're getting it from your local grocery store, that may be a little sketchy. If you're getting it from a restaurant, you don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. But I feel like in most cases, you're pretty safe. It really just depends. If you have any sort of inkling that it has not been refrigerated properly, or the people that are behind the scenes actually creating it aren't doing it in a most sanitary way as they can, then you should probably just not eat something else. Go for something that is cooked. And I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb. I feel sushi is on the rise, even though it's not super amazing for the environment since overfishing is a huge thing currently. But I think more places are offering sushi that can't accommodate the needs for serving raw foods, and I think you just need to be more aware of where you're buying it from. Don't buy it from a street vendor.
Don't buy street fish, folks.
Yeah, street raw fish.
Street raw fish, you're gonna have a bad time. So, in the interest of giving you all the gory details, here's what really happens inside your body. The parasite lives as a larva for up to several weeks inside your stomach, where it dies before developing into adult. But before it dies, it can produce an inflamed mass in the esophagus, stomach, or intestine. Now, if not treated, this can lead to chronic ulcer-like symptoms lasting weeks to months. Pretty interesting stuff. So
yeah,
there are apparently
horrible.
Other ways to remove the worm that are even more disgusting, like this. Some people experience a tingling sensation after a while eating raw or undercooked fish or squid. This is actually the worm moving in the mouth or throat.
No way.
Okay, in some cases it's possible to cough up the worm or remove it by hand. Sometimes vomiting expels the worm.
This is gross.
This is gross. So enjoy your sushi tonight, Tamara. I'm gonna eat cooked food. But generally, if you're in the United States, you're probably going to be fine. The instances right now are occurring most often in Spain and Japan. Now, there have been instances in every country, But those are the two that doctors are really keeping an eye on. And the reason that this is so hard to diagnose, and there are obviously many, many more cases, is because the symptoms often would present themselves as, you know, other diseases, whether it's a stomach ulcer, whether it's just food poisoning, things like this you wouldn't realize.
Yeah. Always
trust
take
your
precautions.
Sushi people.
Always
trust your vendor.
Always take precautions. And don't be eating sushi you shouldn't be eating sushi if you're pregnant or have any sort of other issues. If you're a healthy human being, go for it. Just don't take your chances.